Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul Perdue, and I am a nerd, and you are here for our January 2017. That's right, 2017, our January 2017 Worldox Virtual User Group meeting, where today Mary Jo is going to talk about Workspaces, and I am going to talk about opening files from the list with something other than the default. So an exciting episode for today, I'm sure. But before we do that, just a little bit of quick housekeeping here. This is your GoToWebinar control panel. If you are still seeing this on your screen, it's because you have not clicked this button that looks like an arrow that points to the right, because had you clicked that button, this whole control panel would have flown off the right-hand side of your screen, and the only thing that would have been left hugging the right-hand side of your screen would be these buttons. And this one, at that point, will change into a button that points to the left, because clicking it again will bring this control panel back onto your screen. So you can click it when it's pointing to the right and get rid of it, click it when it's pointing to the left and bring it back. Why would you want to bring it back? Because this is where you type your questions, and this is the button that you remember to hit that sends them to Patty, our humble moderator. Patty, our humble moderator, will recognize that you have a question. She will interrupt Mary Jo or myself at just the right time, and she will ask a question for you. Now, if I get off track and go off on some tangent, or if Mary Jo doesn't understand what you've asked and starts to answer a slightly different question, or if you have follow-up questions after we start to answer your question, just keep typing. Just keep remembering to hit send, and Patty will keep interrupting us and make sure that we stay on track or that your question gets fully answered in the way that you want. Now, if you're feeling a little, I don't know, rambunctious, there's a button here that looks kind of like a hand with an arrow pointing upwards in front of it. That means raise your hand. If you click that, Patty will recognize that you have a question. Of course, she will interrupt Mary Jo or myself at just the right time, of course. But then what she'll do is she'll unmute your microphone, and you can ask your own question. That channel of communication will remain open. You will be talking to us until we're done answering your question. So if I go off on a tangent, or if Mary Jo answers a slightly different question than what you intended to ask, or if you have follow-up questions, just talk to us, because you will be in a one-on-one conversation with us at that point. When we have answered your question satisfactorily, hopefully, Patty will mute your microphone back up, and then, and only then, may you resume eating the Doritos or Funyuns or potato chips that are sitting on your desk right now. So, without any further ado, I will press all of the magic buttons, not just one of them, but several of them, to get to a point where Mary Jo can start talking about Workspaces.
So I am going to talk about how to create a workspace and what you're using it for, and how it can replace the little project tab down here at the bottom. Now, back in the day, we would have this little project tab down here that you could click on, which I don't have keyboard and mouse. Hold on one second. I forgot to ask for it this time even. I will ask for it. There you go. I was so good about asking every time, and now I forgot. All right, so this little project tab used to be the way that we could group files from different locations. They could be from different clients, different cabinets, and we could pull them into one location and create projects. Well, this was a little cumbersome. It was a little bit difficult and hard to get to and find and all of that. So what we're going to talk about today is the Workspaces area on this little tree on the left. And I'm going to open that up here. And we have an area called My Workspaces. Now, what you can do here is you can subscribe to different workspaces. And you do that by right-clicking on My Workspaces, and you can subscribe to either a bookmark that you've created, or you can subscribe to cabinets. Now, right now, I have a cabinet open of projects, and I have one of users. I've named them those specific things. These are my cabinet names. If I had created one for client, I would see that, subscribe to client files or subscribe to forms, whatever that is. So I can subscribe to a location, and then I can create projects within that location. Now we've got a cabinet called projects. You could have one maybe called firm workspaces. Whatever that is, you can create a location, a specific cabinet that you're going to store these kinds of projects in, or you can do it right within the client file, or whatever cabinet. I say file, cabinet, the client cabinet. There we go. I can spit it out today. So these are your cabinets down below. Now, how you get the cabinets to show up here is in WD Admin, and you would have to be an administrator and have rights to get in here. But I went into my WD Admin, into my cabinet section, and here's a list of all my current cabinets. If I want to add client files to my list over here, if I edit that and I check the box that says folders, project folders, now this has already been checked in my sample data. I did it earlier, but Paul hasn't restarted his Worldox yet. But if we do, we can do that in a second, we can actually then see, because this box is checked, that will add it to my selections of which cabinets I can create in. So I'm going to get out of this, and then I'm going to go ahead and close Worldox for a moment, and then we will reopen it, and you will see that that will appear then. And Paul's probably got like a million things open. Nope, not really, not too bad. So we're going to reopen Worldox. Go back into the My Workspaces section. And right here, whoops, it's loading up there. Now if I right-click on My Workspaces, I can subscribe to the Client File section. So that's how you add your cabinets over here. Now for my example, I'm just going to subscribe to a user. And at this point, I can select one, and I'm already subscribed to me, but I can also subscribe to any other Worldox user here if they had a project, and then I could see that particular project and I can subscribe to it. So I've already subscribed to me. So I have a little drop down over here now. Whoops, I lost my little tree. So now I can add projects to this area. And you can select any area that you would like. So under here, I'm going to right click and create a project. So the first thing I did is I right clicked and subscribed to the cabinet I wanted to do, which was user, and I chose me as the user. Then I'm going to create a project. I give it a name. This is just going to be test project. Say OK, and now I've got a project. Now I can start getting files from anywhere. I can go into direct access search, I can go to my favorites, I can grab files from whatever section, bookmarks, whatever I want, and drag those in there. I'm going to make this stay open here for a minute. Let me get out of this for a sec. Let me get this open, and then move this over. There we go. So now I'm going to drag a document in to my test project and just let it go. I could pick and choose some other things here, and I can drag them into the project. Now you notice it's not moving them off of the original list that they were in, so I'm not taking them out of a certain location to put them in here. I'm just copying them over so that if I want to get into this project, I can just click on it from my Workspaces, double click it, and now the only thing that I'm going to see is the documents I dragged over into that project. They're handy right here. I don't have to worry about coming down and creating a project here. In fact, when I start using My Workspaces, I remove this project tab off of here, and I always just drag them over here. Now you also can set up some security on this project. So if I wanted to have this be a certain, just only certain users can subscribe or see this project, I can add that in. So I'm going to go out to my direct access, go into that user file, choose me as the user, say OK, and now I will see the project. See how I've got that project listed right here, test project. I can right click on this and choose security, and it's right here to add it, or I could edit the profile. Either way gets me into adding security. And it gives me those same options. I can do custom security, I can hide it and have it be invisible to everyone but me, or I can protect it to be read-only so people can't change my project, or I can give specific rights to each user if I choose. So that will secure the project. That does not secure the documents within the project. If I want to secure the documents inside of the project, I have to put specific security on each document, and then I can secure my project as well.
So these projects are stored in the cabinet that you identify. Like that was stored in Mary Jo's user cabinet. But I have a quick way to get to them over here without having to go through all that rigmarole. See, that's what's different about this and the old way of doing projects. This is so much easier. It's just right there.
Yep.
Do I sound like an impressed and previously confused user? That's the role I'm playing.
Yeah, I guess so. So if I want to take documents out of my project, I'm going to double click on my project. I can right click and I can delete that out of here. So I'm going to find my delete because it's probably hidden over here. Now when I delete it out of a project, I'm not deleting the document. You see right now it's saying remove it or delete it from the project. So I can remove it from the project here. Or I can delete the file. You want to be careful. I want to just remove it from the project. So now it's going to be out of there. I'm removing the selected file. That's no longer a part of that project. If I want to just delete the project, I'm completed with these forms. I don't want to use them anymore. If I right-click on the project itself, I can delete the project. I'm not deleting the documents. I'm just deleting this project. Maybe it's complete. I don't need all those documents in one place anymore. I can delete them. Now, another way to think about these is little drawers, little file tree hierarchies that you want to put in here. I want to have a file that has my forms in here, and underneath that I want to have, the forms that I work on all the time. And then I want another project that is, for whatever other thing I'm doing all the time, and I don't want to delete them. I don't want to do too much with them. It's not an ongoing project. It's just something I want quick access to, kind of like a bookmark. But yet I can be grabbing things from different locations and putting them into one file so that I don't have to have all these different bookmarks to get there. So that's another way you can use those. The recent projects is going to show me my last 5 accessed projects. So I have a couple in here that I have had open in the last, whatever my last 5 were. So that's what that will show. So if I want to remove the project, again, just right-click and delete the project. And that project is gone. If you're an admin or a manager and you have these rights, you can move to salvage bin, delete, or shred. Most users are going to have that move to salvage bin. So if they move that project to the salvage bin and need to get it back, if you have rights to do that, you can restore that back. Now you also can subscribe to other people's projects. So if I right-click on my Workspaces, subscribe to a user, I can subscribe to that user and go down and subscribe to their projects. If I had other projects under other users, I would see them here and then can actually add that to that, so I can be collaborating with another user on those documents. We both would see them. And then I could right-click to unsubscribe from that user. So I'm just going to subscribe to Paul. I don't know that he has any projects out there, but I'm going to subscribe to him. And then if he does, see how I've got the little plus sign there? So that means he actually has some projects in here. And if I needed to subscribe to his test project, then I would actually be able to see it because I've subscribed to his projects. I'd be able to open that up, see whatever documents he has stored in there, work on those unless he's secured it down. The default security is always everybody. It's public. This project is public unless I lock it down. The other thing that you can do is you can right-click on My Workspaces and you can subscribe to a bookmark. And you'll see it's a little folder bookmark. So I'm going to see all the folder bookmarks. Now right now I'm logged in as Paul, so I'm seeing his 2 folder bookmarks that he has. He's got some Purdue ones up here. And I can actually subscribe that and select it and create a project out of that bookmark there. So it's not a project, it's a bookmark, but I can subscribe to that as well. So I can see all that over here. And again, to unsubscribe, you can come in and right-click and unsubscribe.
One place to see all those things, those bookmarks, other people's projects, your projects. And
this is across all different clients, cabinets, everything. I can be going to several different locations and dragging documents in here so that I've got them all there. For me, as I do billing, so if there's certain billing documents or if I'm sending out certain documents to help somebody set up Practice Master, and I have different documents I want to send them. I could put them all into a project and have them all right in one place and just grab them and send them what I need. So it just helps out a lot. If you want to block everyone from a project, then you would need to create an ethical wall. If you want them to go from all projects, you don't want them to be able to get into projects at all, you'd create an ethical wall, and then that would do that.
So I could go anywhere. I could go to any place, bless you, and drag anything into this this project right here. I don't have to open it up down here in this tab.
Correct.
I don't have to drag something into it and save it. All I do is click on go wherever I want and drag them into my projects. That's all I have to do to add them. That's beautiful.
Yep.
So much easier than it used to be when you had to deal with it through this button bar down here. And then once you start using My Workspaces, you naturally just want to get rid of this thing, because this then becomes the horrible old way of doing it, and this is the fancy new way, easy way of doing it. I like it. Okay, so let's go into my favorite files, and let's use the filter over here to look at, let's say, all the CSV files. So I can take a document in Worldox, like a CSV, or maybe I have a JPEG somewhere, or maybe I have a PDF and I want to open it. But if I double click on it, I'm going to open it with whatever my computer would normally use to open that type of file. And you can usually tell what it would use by the icon that's associated with it. So if I were to click on this CSV here, and I were to go out, I would just double click on it. I can tell by the icon that it would use Excel to open it. But what if I didn't want to use Excel to open it? What if I wanted to use Notepad? Or what if I normally would click on a JPG file, like a picture, maybe some evidence, or pictures of an accident, or pictures of that are related to a trial, some sort of discovery. And if I were normally going to click on a JPEG, it would open it up in Microsoft Paint, but I want to open it up in something else to view the JPEG. I didn't really know this until we kind of stumbled upon this the other day. All I have to do is right-click and choose Open With. And if it's not on this first menu, it's going to be under More until I use it. And when I say Open With, it will show me all the things that are on my computer that can open a CSV file. And if I choose Notepad, there it is. Now, that's not what would normally have happened when I clicked on that file. If I double-clicked on these CSV files just from here, as you can see, well, okay, so now it's opening it in. Okay, and one thing to be careful of is that when you right-click on it, let's go back to the CSVs, and choose Open With, you would then at that point have the unwitting ability, as I just did, to change what it's going to open with all the time. So be careful there, because normally it would open with Excel, okay? And you can tell when you're looking at this in Worldox what it thinks it's going to use to open it. Okay, it thinks right now that this is a CSV file. So if I want to open it with something different, all I have to do is right-click and choose Open With, being careful to either leave this checked or not, and choose the program that I want to open it with. Very helpful if you've got multiple ways of opening a PDF, for instance. Maybe your default is to open it with Adobe Reader, but you also have Adobe Professional or Standard, or maybe you have PDF Pro or some other non-Adobe PDF reader or editor. And so most of the time you're set to default, and because most of the time you want to open them in Reader, but every once in a while you want to open them in that editor. That's the way to do it. And so in the past in Worldox, at least several versions back, what you had to do was you had to save this out to your desktop and then open it with from there. But now you can simply right-click on a file, choose Open With, and whatever you've got installed on that computer to open that type of a file will come up as a possibility for opening that particular thing. For instance, I could open this email using Outlook, which is what it would default to, or using Google Chrome. And that's that. Pretty simple, But a neat thing to know, if you didn't know it was there, it is. And it's really quite a time saver if that's what you need to do, open it with something other than the default. Okay, so next month we're going to be talking about linking to Worldox documents from someplace else. How do you, if you want to send somebody an email with a link and you're not going to do it with Worldox linking, or you want to create a list in Word that points to certain documents, or maybe you have something like Practice Master, which is where we use it, where you can put links to documents. How do you link to those documents that are in Worldox? We're going to show you that. Mary Jo's going to take that topic. And then I'm going to expand upon that to show how you can use projects to create a link not just to one document, but to a whole list of documents. So that's kind of what we're talking about next month, how to link to external, from external programs into Worldox documents without having to use Worldox links, being able to do it from something other than Worldox. And of course, as everyone knows, at the end of every virtual user group meeting, we have to take you to our website so we can show you how to get to this recorded content. So if we go to Attorney Computer Systems, notice the emphasis on the last S in the word systems.com, attorneycomputersystems.com, and hover over videos or click on the word, you will see all of our live broadcasts, the virtual user group meetings, tabs 3, Practice Master, and Worldox, where you are right now, or the Coffee Pot webinar, which is my monthly webinar on products and services that hook into Practice Master or tabs or Worldox. And if you click on one of those things, like this Worldox virtual user group meeting, you will find a description of what the user group meeting is and an explanation of what the topics are for the next meeting, along with the date and time, and links. Both take you to the same place, but 2 links to click on to register. And then as you scroll down, you'll find pre-recorded versions of the most recent content. Now, this is where we are right now. We are in the Open With and How to Use Workspaces virtual user group meeting for January 2017. So it's currently in post-production. In a couple of weeks, our video producer, Brad, will have this up on the site. But as you scroll down even further, you'll find recorded versions of every Worldox virtual user group meeting that we've ever recorded. And we'll see that it's 10 pages, so that's about 50 or 60 virtual user group meetings, several years worth. So we have all that on the site. You can also see our 2 pre-recorded video titles. Mary Jo records 3 of her e-bites every month, 1 on tabs, 1 on Practice Master, 1 on Worldox. Short little 3 or 4 or 5 minute videos with really neat little nuggets of information, very concise. Or our broader format, longer format, Paul and Mary Jo show, where Mary Jo or I will take a broader topic and take a deep dive into it, spending 10 or 15 or sometimes 20 minutes getting into the very nitty-gritty, the ultimate nuts and bolts of whatever that topic is. So please take advantage of this video content, scroll through it, browse through it, search for whatever you're looking for. It's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, except, of course, in leap year when it's available for that extra day. Everybody have a good rest of the day, a good rest of the month, and we will see you in February. Thanks much. Bye-bye.